Like
exactly.
There are so many times when they get like who drives what car wrong in movies, like the feeling of the person who's driving it. They get that wrong, but like, I mean, everything from the douchebag Ferrari dealer to fucking the rapper.
We are absolutely burning pod right now.
We're not. We're
thinking the same thing.
To the
This is halfway through, though.
Okay, but yeah,
it's a good place to start. It's a fine place to start.
Yeah.
Douchebag Ferrari salesman to the rapper with the Hummer with Snake on the license plate, like all of that.
Snake gonna have to slither his ass all the way to the bus stop in the morning.
That's right.
Exactly. And yeah, it's like they had a car person just kind of pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I thought it was again.
And like their chatter over the radio when they're stealing cars is like, come on. Yeah, why aren't we talking about this stuff?
It was an homage to Hallecky, that they had to do all that kind of stuff. And I actually enjoyed the original, and it was terrible, but I enjoyed it because I knew it was terrible. And if you went to go see anything with Angelina Jolie and Nicolas Cage and you were expecting it, for the Academy's consideration, you've already blown it.
Yeah, right? Totally.
You knew what you were getting when you saw it. And it was great.
That's what it says on the tin.
There it is. Yeah. So with that, speaking of people that do what they say they're going to do.
Are we starting?
Wow. And he actually was able to start it. That's amazing.
I'm a professional. Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemma Champ or Lucky Track Dog League you run, SCC or NASA, we won't discriminate as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news and notes in the world of amateur endurance racing, whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough and Chrissy gives us just the tip. We're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thanks for coming back and listening to a Cessna Skyhawk episode of our podcast. It is episode 172, and the Cessna 172 Skyhawk is a high-wing, single-engine light aircraft. It was first flown in 1955, and if you imagine a small private plane, chances are you're probably thinking of a Cessna. More 172s have been built, more than any other plane ever, measured by longevity and popularity. The Cessna 172 is the most successful aircraft in history and remains in production today. If you're not driving a car, or maybe you're not, or flying a plane or not, get your bingo card out because today's going to be epic.
Wow.
What? Wow.
It's
Jeff,
like a history podcast.
I know. It's everyone history.
I still think I'd rather have a Piper Cherokee over a 172.
You would, but a 72 is much cheaper.
You can't see down out of a Piper because it's a low wing aircraft and the wing blocks your view. 72s are much better for recreational flying.
Yeah, I think so. Jeff, what are you working on?
Everyone general aviators.
I was about to say that I've spent some time with a 172 with a friend who had just gotten his pilot license when we were like sophomores in college, and he's now an ER doctor and takes care of COVID patients. And we meet up and we talk about our dangerous hobbies. And he gets in the car and he's like, "The wife's not here, right? Let me tell you about stunt flying." And he starts talking about how many G's he takes and when he slightly blacks out. And I'm like, dude, that's way more dangerous than like amateur endurance racing. Like, I got a fire suit and a cage. Never mind.
We only black out in the paddock that night.
Exactly.
College job. I thought that was the dangerous one we were talking about.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, so what have I been working on this weekend? I cleaned my tiny garage like a Wolverine. And I insulated the door so it wouldn't be so cold here in New Jersey.
So you piled everything into a corner like a den in the other corner?
I organized.
So the door is insulated, but none of the rest of the garage is.
No, the walls aren't, but that like makes it a little warmer.
Okay.
Well, the
no
door
walls,
is
it's because you
no
can see
ceiling
the door.
insulation, but that door.
No, but the door is like all the coldness goes through the door because it's like the thin aluminum door. It's not even like a wooden door.
Nothing
so at least
goes
like
through the just the bare sheathing up to the ceiling. Nope, nothing goes through there at all. It's fine.
So, look, it was a kit. I ordered it on Amazon. It showed up and it helped. Quit complaining.
I feel like Jeff's making progress, and we should really support him and encourage this.
I'm not cleaning anything anymore, you people.
He's got a big hole in the boat, and he's got like a teacup. He's like, look, it's getting better. It's getting better.
It is.
Because before he was just sitting there going, man, there's a lot of water in here.
That's true.
I'm not thirsty anymore.
It's true. I turned on the slightly small bilge pump. So we talked about planes. We talked about boats. Now we can talk about cars, right? But I actually made enough room in the back of the garage that I could like work on stuff like the CT-70 clone or what, if I ever get a chance of that. So, but what I did was I continued the sanding and staining project for these stairs. So that is like the next part of the whole floor renovation. Yeah. And
so people don't fall off the side of the railing.
Exactly.
5 feet to the tile.
I have a split level and I really like the house without a railing.
And by people, the safety tester in your house is Josh.
No, the dogs.
Hey, Josh, see if this door is electrified. Hey, Josh.
a bit. Yes.
Yes.
Well, Jeff, instead of doing thick wooden railings, you could just do a metal up and then over and then fill it in with wires with turnbuckles, which are much less visually blocking.
Yeah, my wife wanted wood. We're trying to make a house made out of wood, a little warmth. Right. But anyway, I would have gotten more done today, but I was too busy watching the news and democracy crumble. And I just want to say that I just sent everybody on the TikTok. Sorry, Brad, I didn't send it to you. I didn't have your phone number. A couple of my favorite dog TikToks to try and wash the visuals out of my head so that I can be funny for an hour and talk about cars, because this is not everybody politics. If you want to hear my politics, find me on Facebook and I'll tell you about all the stupid things happening in the world.
He won't actually talk to you. What he'll do is he'll say something controversial and then leave.
He throws the bomb and runs away.
That's what Facebook is for.
It's my favorite.
Totally.
That's why I quit doing Facebook.
I should quit because
Facebook.
Marketplace is getting weaponized. And we kind of cut him off. But Brad, you and I talked about it, and then Jeff, you and I talked about it. And I don't think
I've been introduced yet.
No, but it's fine.
Okay. But we do that at the end. That's part of the joke.
Okay. This is the thing. It's messed up right now. We're all hurting. But in the past, we've gotten multiple emails and texts and things like that that says, I know what's going on out there. I just like knowing that for an hour on my commute or when I'm doing this or when I got my headphones in, I just feel like I'm walking around the paddock and, I'm stealing Jeff's line here. And the biggest controversy is how cheaty is your BMW, which, by the way, the answer is very cheaty.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's got a roundel, it's cheating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm looking for my ban E30 stickers.
Probably one of the best times of the year. I got to see Mental for about 30 seconds in the paddock in Michigan, and that was cool. It was good.
And that is actually in the show notes. We'll talk about that later. And
what are you working on, Mental?
There it is. I jumped in Jeff's area. I had a very quiet New Year's Eve with the missus. And this thing is I love my family, but this new tradition of Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's without my family, man, I am all about that. That is totally my new thing. Man, just me and Vicky.
And the dogs.
Holidays are just too much work, man.
Yes, yeah. I have suffered from zero guilt. It has been amazing. And for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, and Vicky cooked an amazing meal. And then for New Year's Day, I cooked because I'm not taking any chances. And it was on our Instagram. I did pork tenderloin, some black-eyed peas, and greens because and I had to go to 3 grocery stores to get the black-eyed peas because everybody was eating black-eyed peas this year because we're not taking any chances. They were all sold out.
Tonight at dinner, my son, we're just checking in with the 11-year-old, making sure he understands what's happening in the news. And he says, I think the problem is I didn't eat all of my pork and sauerkraut for New Year's. I'm the one that damned the year.
No, because
No.
if Josh had that kind of power, the world would be so much of a better place.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead. Keep going, mental.
Yeah. So New Year's Day, unlike Chris, who got things done, I sat on the couch and binged Community because I still love that
We
show.
didn't do
Great
much
show.
more than that. So it's
Very good show.
It is a great show. And I still love The Darkest Timeline, you know.
We're in it.
Yes, I understand it, but I want you to explain it to me like I'm stupid. And if you say we're in the darkest timeline, I'm going to refute that because I'm not making out with Annie. And if we're in the darkest timeline, I get to make out with Annie because of everyone on this screen, I am totally Jeff Winger.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And
And then,
I think
yeah, and then over the past couple days, I meted this out, but I finally got to finish The Mandalorian, which if you haven't seen, The Mandalorian is Serenity good. It is.
it is.
Yeah.
It is so
It
great.
is.
And
I have
I
to steal
can't-
someone's Disney Plus login at some
I'll
point.
send it to you.
Oh, I'd happily give it to you because even Chrissy will enjoy The Mandalorian. And I can't wait for the Book of Boba Fett, not just because they did that Easter egg teaser at the end of that one, but because it's going to be, and also not because I'm just a big fan of Ming-Na Wen,
Yes.
who is awesome. And
Yep.
she is 57.
She's
Yeah.
She looks
57.
that awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, but more importantly, because Robert Rodriguez is going to be directing. And if you don't think Robert Rodriguez has got the nerd chops, you're wrong. And you need to go back and watch episode 14, which was directed by Robert Rodriguez. And I'm a huge Rodriguez fan.
Welcome to everyone's Star Wars, your nerdy capital.
Actually, that's
Let my
coming this
sister
year.
know.
So finally, if
I'll be on that show with you. I'm
Yeah.
totally about Star Wars.
oh sweet, no, we've actually got it's called Skywalker's on Trial. It is actually coming. With some of my friends here in Las Vegas. And but if you got a Facebook request from me, it's real. I am swapping accounts because for some reason Facebook decided my name couldn't be mental, so I just made a new account. So yeah, it's a real account.
You binged Community. My wife and I binged Clone Wars, the cartoon.
Oh yeah, that's next.
We just finished that, and it's so good.
My son and I are not binging. We're doing a couple episodes a week.
It took us about a month and a half to get through 7 seasons, but we did it.
Rosario Dawson owned that.
Yeah.
Just man, the look when she bust out both of those lightsabers. Oh man, yeah, it was awesome.
Guys.
Big fan. It's all going well.
Yeah.
This isn't Garage Heroes. This is a car show.
Hey, Chris, what are you working on?
You know, I actually worked on a car. We did have a nice relaxing.
No!
I know. No, we did have a nice relaxing time on New Year's Day. We did binge Mindhunter though.
Loved
which
it.
Has
Also a good show.
So good.
so many great cars though. How did they find like a pristine '76 base model
and
Nova?
pants. So many good
Yeah,
pants.
that's
I have to
true.
go back and look
Car
at the
show, but-
pants.
Yeah.
there's so many-
Okay.
Anyway.
so, yeah, because I want to watch that one. That's on my list, and I'm going to frame it in the pants discussion now.
Mhm. Replaced a full frame window in our office because the old, which that's a lot more work, but the old frame wasn't doing so well. But it was a surprise. It included cutting masonry due to an over enthusiastic mason when the house was built who just wedged those up there and made it so that the window frame didn't actually fit the rough out. He made these bigger anyway.
Yikes. And that's on the second floor. Your
Yeah.
office is on the second floor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure is. And it was also the only warm day in January, and it was about to rain and snow, so I really had to get it done. I will shout out to Home Depot for the rigid line of diamond-edged metal 4.5-inch cutting wheels for your cutting grinder. Right? They apparently will cut anything. If you look on them, it says like, "Oh, it'll cuts metal, wood, like tomatoes, whatever." I will tell you, it goes through brick like butter, like just smooth and easy.
Is this a what is it a metal blade or a?
It is a metal blade
okay.
with diamond edges on it, but it will cut anything apparently. And it was like $15, which
So
I
I
easily
had
go
to-
through.
I had to recently use one of those because we bought a new house with a garage that was on a foundation from 1935, so it was cracked. So I had to chase
welcome
all of
to
the
Nevada.
cracks. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
man, yeah.
So I had to chase all of those cracks to make them big enough to put the filler in. And that blade just eats. It's amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
especially
I've got to
we-
expand my garage, like my side entry door into a double door so I can get a motorcycle in and out.
We started with
You guys have
one
both
that
just
was
sold me on that blade.
terrible.
Yeah,
So
I
we
said it's just
started
a
it, and it was
fiber
just throwing
ceramic
crap
one, and
everywhere,
it,
and
yeah.
it was never going anywhere.
So spend the
much better.
money, get the diamond cutter.
But it's only like $15. Like,
It's not that
you can go
bad.
through $15 in fiber wheels before you're going to wear this thing out. Like,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm sold. So there's our tip of consumer advice now. And it finished it up in the dark. I was up on the ladder caulking it in the dark. That was fun. Now have it's trimmed up to, I just got it painted tonight. So that's good. And now it's actual car work. I made most of the fuel system for the Z. I am missing 2 hose ends that I thought I had, but the ones I had are too small. So I got to order 2 new hose ends. But aside from that, all the AN lines are cut. Most of them are made. Everything's ready to go. Repaired some broken wiring harness plugs from our junkyard harness with bits I cut off of other harnesses at the junkyard. And I hooked up the electrical system, actually put electrons through wires through the car for the first time in a very long time, and checked on wires, like of the ones I thought were things, and I cut things and I had them out. So I'm checking stuff like which ones are the switched, which ones are the hot. Oh, that one's hot. I guess I better cover that end. Okay, good. Next, right? Yeah. Things like that. So progress on moving forward with wiring on the Z.
So just for those who are following the LS to Z swap, what fuel pump are we running? Or what
Stock
Z fuel pump?
Mm-hmm.
So all you really needed to do is take the hard lines and put the little LS connectors.
Stock Z fuel pump to stock lines, and the lines come up into the engine bay right below the brake booster, and that's when they terminate the hard lines and become rubber lines that used to go to the fuel filter. So I put a 2-inch rubber line on that went to a then hose barb to AN fitting, and it's a fuel injection hose, injection clamps, tighten that all up. So now I have AN fittings at the end of the stock fuel lines, so I can run AN 6 lines from there for the intake, the pressure line and the return, up to a Corvette C5 fuel filter, which has a built-in pressure regulator at 58 psi, which is what LSs need. So that's 2 lines in, 1 AN line out, and you can easily buy from any speed stop or a store the AN to GM fuel filter fittings pack. You can even buy the Corvette filter with fittings already on it.
Oh,
this is so common.
That's how ubiquitous the LS swap has gotten.
Yeah.
So then then it's another AN. It's an elbow to AN 6 line to another elbow to again the GM fuel fitting end to the AN, and then that goes on the stock rail. Done.
Brad, just to bring you up to speed, you've seen the 3-pedal Mafia race cars. They're all dead. I killed the Honda, and they are in the arduous process of LS swapping a 4.8 into a Z32 300Z. It is going to decimate once it gets through the teething process. So,
yeah.
So
it'll take
everyone on this.
That'll be like
screen,
4 seasons, right?
Yeah.
The teething process.
At least 3
everyone on
races,
this screen
no
who lives
what.
on the East Coast has been working so hard on this car, and I feel so guilty, but it is going to be so freaking cool.
Cool. That sounds
Not
fun.
everyone. Don't worry.
We'll see. It's a lot of work.
So
All
Chrissy,
right.
what are you working on?
Oh, what he said. And then I cook a lot of food. We did have small family gatherings, which was not too stressful, so that was okay. Overall of the holidays, and now we're on to work with no short weeks, which is so sad. And that's
Let me check again. Am I still the only asshole who has to drive to work and sit in a regular office?
No.
Oh yeah, Remental does too. That's right. I forgot.
But I do get to drive a AMG as opposed to your rolling garbage dumpster. But
it's a Mazda 3. It's not a rolling garbage.
I thought we were
dumpster.
friends.
no, it's not a garbage dumpster by being a Mazda 3. Mazda 3 is a great car. It's a rolling garbage dumpster because you don't understand how to operate a vacuum cleaner.
All right, let's have a proper introduction now.
Go ahead.
Stranger to the internet, gearheads, or this show. It's our buddy Bradley Brownell. What you working on?
A lot of things, actually. I have a bunch of projects going on. I'm working on a new car show. I have a radio show now, so that's fun.
You have a radio show?
Yeah,
on NPR, on Nevada NPR. It's so freaking
wow.
cool.
Jeff is nursing a semi now. But
I am. I'm totally jelly.
Our local public radio station. Yeah, one of my friends is the the content director over there, and she asked me to try out for a car advice show. So every other week I do about an hour of car advice, and I tell fun stories. Like this year.
Can we get to it? Can you if you don't have?
Does it stream? Like
it's up.
Yeah,
it's
we're gonna need that. We're gonna need that link, Brad.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. It's available as a podcast. This week's episode, I'm actually going in to record, hopefully later this week, is the story of how North Korea stole 1,000 Volvos from Sweden. Yeah.
International espionage and intrigue.
I'm ready for that one.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And then, so I do a little like half-hour story in the beginning and then half-hour of advice at the end. And it's a fun show. It's called 10 and 2 because it helps you get a grip on the world of cars. So,
But
I like that. I like it a lot.
I'm also working on project car stuff. I have a Nissan Leaf that's a lot of fun, actually. I put it on 3-spoke wheels, and it looks tight.
That's great.
What kind of 3-spoke wheels?
They are super long champs, imported from Japan. And
I can tell by the name that they were Japanese.
15s? Because if they're imported,
they're 17s.
Even better.
They're current.
Yeah.
They're still
they're like 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let that go.
Trust me. If you've seen the photos of it, they're very period correct. And if they were, the problem with the Leaf is that the wheel wells are so massive, 15s would just be swallowed up in them. So it would look ridiculous. It's still.
And you were working with our friend Justin on. I'm sorry, and I don't want to steal this from you about some future plans for that.
Oh yes, yeah, it's going to be on airbags. So
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm going to slam it. I want to be able to sit it on the battery. And
because batteries do really well when they're dragged across the ground.
I'm not going to drag it. I'm going to drive it up. I just want to be able to pull in and air out.
You must have lay bat.
Yeah.
Boom, lay bat.
Lay bat instead of lay frame.
Copyright 2021 E1R lay bat.
Lay bat. So that's one of my projects. My wife is going to quarantine with her mother for a month because she hasn't seen her in a year.
Okay, but your mother-in-law is okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's fine. She hasn't seen her mother in a long time, so she wants to go there and quarantine long enough that she can actually like hug her mother and grandmother. So, so she's leaving me for a month, which means I have all the time in the world to work on cars.
But you know, literally everyone here is married, and we all know that's not true. But it's funny that you say that, especially since you have a dog. But I've been online friends with Mandy Pants for years, and I did not get to meet her until actually this one, the Grid Life at Rhode Island.
Yeah. Do you know that was 3 years ago already?
Jesus, God, I'm old. No, I had not made that connection. So, Mandy, if you're listening to this, because you're on a long road trip, safe travels.
Yes. Yeah, she's taking all of her own food, so she's only basically stopping for gasoline, and that's it. So she's going to try and stay away from people.
And the last time we had you on the show, you told the story of her following you in a 944 that was failing, but you couldn't admit that it was failing because she would be even madder.
Bingo. Yep. But she's taking the nice car. She's taking the Tour X. It should.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It should do the trip.
I would drive across country in a Tour X tomorrow.
So anyway, so I'll be working on the Boxster. I've got some interesting plans going on with the Boxster. I've told you that I'm hybriding the car.
Electrifying. Oh, hybriding? I thought you were going full electric.
No. It's going to be electric front-wheel drive, gasoline rear-wheel drive.
That's right. I do remember now.
So, hence his acquisition of a Leaf.
Yes. Well, I already had the Leaf motor, but the batteries that are in my Leaf now are going to get upgraded, and the old batteries are going in the Boxster.
Okay. Cool.
So, so the plan for the next month is to take out the dash, get the cage in, cut the windshield off, which is always a very fun way to go.
You got to really commit and be sure that You're sitting like, oh man,
Yeah.
here I am.
Yep.
Okay.
Put the dash back in, obviously.
That'll be easy with no windshield.
Yeah.
Right? Then, because the car will have an electric front axle, I won't need any accessories on the motor. Because I won't need an alternator. Because I can run everything through a DC.
Because you run everything for the
converter.
DC. Yeah, okay.
So
Power steering?
I'm going to have a 911 RSR electric power steering.
Okay.
Which is Porsche genuine parts. The race car uses it. I'm going to have an electric water pump, and I'm rerouting the coolant to a radiator in the rear trunk.
Huh.
Okay.
So it'll be a shorter distance of radiator.
Thompson just got a semi listening to this.
Yeah, he's excited now.
So it's gonna be a horizontally mounted radiator on the floor of the rear trunk with a hole cut through the bottom to suck air up through the rear trunk, and then the back of the trunk will just have big holes drilled to exhaust that air out the back.
Speed holes.
Yeah.
So a lot of luggage room, great for long trips.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because the front trunk will be full of electric motor.
Yeah.
So you've basically taken the most practical Porsche in existence.
Yes.
Not even
and
close.
turned it into the
Cayenne is the most
But that's
practical
good.
Porsche.
That's not a Porsche.
It's not a Porsche. That's an SUV.
Shut up. It is. It totally is. I used to be in the it's not a Porsche camp until Florida man Donnie sent me a video of a Cayenne with Flowmaster 10s on it, and it totally is. I'm sorry.
It sounds really good. Speaking of Donnie, he has a motor in his garage that
Yes, he does.
I'm gonna need to buy from him for this car.
And he'll give you a great price.
He's already given me a great price. I just need to scrounge up the money and make it happen.
Yeah.
And get to Florida and get it to Nevada. I mean,
sure, right. I mean, I'd ship it at that point.
But it's Donnie. Yeah.
But I mean, who doesn't need 200 horsepower from an electric motor powering the front wheels and 400 horsepower from a turbo motor powering the rear wheels? That's just logic.
Exactly. Jeff and I, a number of years ago, coached. We were doing supercar experiences, and we got to drive the new NSX, and we both fell in love with it.
Yeah,
exactly for that reason.
Excellent car.
Does he have an NSX electric motor?
No.
But I'm just saying, electric motor, gas motors.
Got it. Yeah.
Would you like more traction? Have some more horsepower with it. Yeah.
He has a 996 turbo motor.
Oh, okay, got it.
That I didn't
know he did German things. I thought it was like
anymore.
GM, and then like every
yes, he
now
does.
And then GM.
He's got he does European things because he's got a Volvo and he's got a Saab.
Yeah, the GM Saab though.
The Ford
it's
Volvo.
Donnie.
The Ford
Volvo. Yeah.
Small steps. Steps.
But so anyway, what am I working on? I'm working on a lot of things. Oh, I'm also working on my house because it's a 1935 build steel house. And so things always need to be done to it, but it's very cool. We moved in June, and we've slowly been like repainting all the walls and putting in new appliances and gutting the kitchen and replacing all the cabinets and everything. So, yeah.
Any 1935 house, no matter what it is made out of, going to need work.
The
and it's going to be cool.
Is the electric is a little outdated. But
knob and tube.
But because luckily it does have really good
insurance. No.
Yes. Nothing's gonna burn because it's steel. So you can have a short in your wall and you wouldn't know it until you lean up against the wall.
Like my son in the door.
We know what that's like.
But no, luckily it's got a really good junction box. Everything's fine there. It's all modern stuff. But the wiring inside the house is still the cloth-wrapped original 1935 stuff.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, welcome to Nevada.
So if you're running the air conditioner and the blow dryer at the same time or the microwave, it just shuts everything down.
Do you have the screw-in fuses or like?
No, they're actual click fuses.
I had a house in Nebraska that was built in 1918. I still had screw-in fuses.
Mm-hmm. We had a lake house that had the like car fuses, had like bus.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
the glass.
Yes, glass tube fuses. Yeah, that was something else.
That's excellent.
That's awesome. Well, welcome to Everyone Old House. Let's move on
to the gamut tonight already.
Yeah.
10 notes. Who's got a story?
Now we're done with this old racers. New year. Hey, new car company officially now. Roberta Baldwin, a Cover and Driver, writes about the new Fiat Chrysler merger with Peugeot. So we've got now Fiat, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Peugeot, Citroën, Opel, and Vauxhall, I think, is the list here. So that's a lot. Anyway, the company's going to get a new name,
and
Stellantis. Maserati. Yeah,
Maserati's in there too. Huh.
Yeah. Yep. So Stellantis, because FCGAGPSA, Maserati, Peugeot, whatever. It's going to sound dumb. So now, as Stellantis, you just think it's a new pill to control your herpes flare-ups. That may also cause sudden and severe side effects. In a commercial, there's going to be a lot of pretty people going out to eat.
Have you asked your doctor about Stellantis?
Exactly. Right.
If you can't afford your Stellantis, contact us.
We might be able to help.
Seneca may be able to help.
It may cause death, though.
Yep. So the
yellowing of the eyes and death.
Yep. Anyway, this is the fourth largest car company in the world, but Stellantis is apparently just the corporate aspect. So your Jeep dealer is still Jeep, etc. Anyway, the merger's going to complete this year, and maybe we'll see Peugeot somewhere. Who knows?
I really hope so.
Does Peugeot really have a chance in America?
Yes.
They do have small cars.
Because all they make are SUVs now.
So does everyone else. Doesn't differentiate them anymore, unfortunately.
Also, people still like SUVs, so there's that.
Yeah.
Can't explain that.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
The interesting thing is my car, my Buick, is an Opel.
Yes.
GM owned Opel at the time, but they sold Opel to Peugeot Citroën.
Yeah.
And now Peugeot Citroën, right, is Dodge Chrysler. So they could effectively sell the same car as a Chrysler if they wanted to do that. It's already been regulated
federally,
for US.
Yeah. Federal,
yeah. Oh yeah, totally. And then the first thing they'll do is cram a 6.4 Hellcat into it.
Yeah. But the
I'd buy that one.
The Buick Opel has so much history and provenance in the U.S. Having been sold several.
Hey, you know what? How cool would it be to be able to say that your Regal is the same as like a new Chrysler Cordoba or something? Like that'd be pretty cool.
Oh dear, I don't have my phone, Jeff. I don't have my phone from Sunday. Cordoba.
Yeah. Anyway, who else got a story?
So, pro racer Ruben Barrichello, his iRacing stream was interrupted by his very good boy, James Gilboy, no relation, details the accounts over the drive. The video can be found on Ruben's Instagram, one of his two golden retrievers that decided racing was done and time for snuggles was now. Skip, who's actually named for Skip Barber, did not apply. How does Austie get into your lap when you guys are iRacing?
Pat?
She just jumps. It's right there.
Yeah.
When she's racing, does she sit on your lap?
Not very often. I'm moving too
usually
much.
Screaming.
My dog licks my hands on the steering wheel. Like, 'cause he's kind of tall enough. He doesn't really jump in. He just comes over and says, and I'm like, eh.
Yeah. So, and I'm a VR guy too. So usually I get the caution paw from the Chihuahua, one paw, and then he's in my lap. And for the more astute viewers on YouTube, tell me you're already throwing a ball because the Chihuahua was bothering me earlier. Anyway, Skip did none of this. Skip just totally climbed into his lap and then jumped up on his shoulders. It was time for a hug. As Gilboy said, professional racing drivers were among the many professions to learn the struggles of working from home this past spring. So a link to the article, and more importantly, a link to Ruben's Instagram is on our show notes. And Jeff, if you're watching this on YouTube, is showing the video now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that is not a small dog.
Oh, it's the cutest.
The big golden. It's like, Dad, I want to sit here.
He's such a good boy.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Awesome. Link in our show notes so you can see what we're talking about. Okay, because I love F1 news. There's just been a little bit, even though the season has finished. First, we wish Lando Norris a safe and quick COVID recovery, which is crazy since he raced all year with people that had it and whatever. But those who fret for Alex Albon, don't worry, he's still going to race, just not in F1. Mike Pryson from Autoweek tells us that the 24-year-old who was replaced by Sergio Perez at Red Bull for next year is getting a seat at Deutsche Turnwagen Masters Sports Car Series, whatever. The DTM. Yep, DTM. Ride comes with Red Bull, and Albon will race with them with as long as there's no conflicts with his schedule as the F1 backup on Red Bull.
So he's still going to be the reserve driver. He's still in a contract with Red Bull. He's just changing series.
Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaften.
Thank you so much.
I would argue that everyone that listens to this podcast, if you've not watched German DTM, it's not the same.
It's not the same anymore.
It's not the same anymore, but still, I mean,
like next year they're changing.
Next year they're changing?
Nothing.
Yeah,
they give literally nothing.
It's just GT3 next year.
You will earn every inch in German DTM.
I could watch that too.
Yeah.
So,
but it won't be sedans. For the first time in the series history, it won't be sedans. It'll be sports cars. It's McLarens and Porsches and.
That's less interesting.
Oh darn!
Well, you missed the days of the 190E bang.
No, I did not.
I do.
I loved those
M3s and 190Es. That's what it was about.
Yeah, Volvo wagons every now and then. You know.
Yeah.
Mercedes.
Yes, we understand. That's why I want a 190E, and it's still on my bucket list.
It's the mighty 190.
Yes. I wanted to do this story last week, but they wouldn't let me because they said, you gotta wait till Brad comes on because he wrote the story. So
you could have done it.
I know. So W Series racer Emma, not going to try and pronounce her last name. Anybody want to give it a shot?
I believe it's Kimmelainen.
Kimmelainen basically gave an interview with Nordic. She's a Nordic Formula driver. She was in the Swedish Radical Champions. She had a DTM test seat, and she basically walked away from racing for a bunch of years because she was given a Formula, I believe it was Formula 2000 seat. She signed the contract.
It was Indy Lights.
Oh, it was Indy Lights. I'm sorry, Indy Lights seat.
She didn't quite sign the contract. She went to sign the contract,
and they basically told her
what was in it.
Yeah. She basically told her that, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to have to appear topless in a men's magazine to get this. She basically was told she didn't need to bring sponsors, which is not a normal thing to do. Normally you have to bring sponsors. They said, no, don't worry about the sponsors. We got that all taken care of. And right as she's about to sign, it's like, because you're going to appear topless in a men's magazine.
Correct.
Did they ever mention the men's magazine, Brad? You did not mention it in the article.
No. Okay. No. So effectively what happened was this team, and she doesn't mention the team, so we don't know what team it was. We don't know what the sponsor was because she doesn't want to be like vindictive about it. But whatever. That's her prerogative.
Yeah, totally.
To say her history. So she flew to the United States to sign the contract. This was 10 years ago in 2010. Or for the 2010 season. And she went to sign the contract. They were like, don't worry, we got the sponsors covered. When she got there, she was like, we were talking to the sponsors and we told them it would be cool if you did a bathing suit photo shoot for their magazine. But turns out they're not cool with that and they want you to be showing more skin. And she was like, yeah, I'm not doing that, and walked away. And because it was already so late in the season, she had no other options for the 2010 season. So she had to sit out 2010, and then later she had a kid, so she just kind of stayed out for a few years. But now she's back, and she's actually like winning races. So that's the thing that bums me out is like she's clearly talented. And what would have happened if she had had those 4 years?
Where could she be now?
Exactly.
Because if you miss years in the racing series, you miss
usually
years of connections.
Retirement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, the world sucks sometimes. But we're glad to see she's back. And she does have a W Formula ride, but they're not really running at the moment, so she's running other things.
Right. Well, they're running this
Sure
year.
they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This.
It is now 2021.
I know,
so
sorry.
That's true. Okay.
Sorry. I was thinking like next year that we were still watching F1, but we're not anymore. So okay, sorry. This year, yes.
It's hard to say this year. I kind of like blocked out, like for some reason, like
Yeah.
most of 2021.
It's still March.
Isn't it? Say this. You're not wrong.
Well, I posted the story up on our social media to make sure that everybody gets the clicks on your story, Brad, because that's the kind of thing that we do. And we had some great listener feedback because the listeners were pissed too. Matt Farinchek, our buddy from Pennsylvania there, said, yeah, this is how a woman gains respect in the paddock. She should have sued them for harassment. And a couple of people talked about harassment. Eric said harassment's the real issue, but like they signed the agreement for the sponsorship without consulting her, and the terms obviously not agreed to by her. So he also thought it was really sad and a stupid thing for the team to do. She is hurt. She has been damaged. She probably could win a lawsuit.
I'm not, obviously I don't know for a fact, but looking back 10 years ago, Playboy was pretty prevalent in racing. They sponsored the MX5 Cup Series, which was a tier below Indy Lights, and they were sponsoring a couple other teams. So if I had to guess, it was probably Playboy, but I don't know for certain.
And I'm gonna argue against you on that one, because by that time, Hugh Hefner had well turned to oatmeal, and it was the Playboy empire was being run by his daughter.
In 2010?
Yeah. And
I thought that change was more recent.
It probably was, but read the subtext.
That's going to get away the way of Mental's story, and so we can't have that.
Look, the facts don't matter. Just let Mental tell his story. It's fact that Jason.
My point being is Playboy has always been absolutely, completely honest about their request and that sort of thing. And
they may have been honest with the team. I just think the team wasn't honest with her.
Yeah.
There we go. And that is highly, highly probable too, because I don't feel like, Playboy still carried some prestige of, I get to be naked in Playboy, and it's not as scuzzy. I can't jump on Playboy for that one, but yeah, there's just
it's the team. It's
for sure. For sure. I'm just saying, like, looking at the timeline,
is an idiot.
Yeah.
Because if they'd have, and we've got some more feedback we'll go through. If they'd have thrown that out in the beginning, they would have found a driver.
Probably.
But to surprise
I would have done it.
Yeah, to surprise them with that.
Do it right here.
You're about to
All right, so we have a little bit more of feedback here, and we'll go through this quickly. And I have a thought on that after Chris has done his. So somebody said, Greg O said, I have a slightly different take on this. Speaks volume for a character. She just walked away and didn't mention it for 10 years. Living in the modern world with world of victim culture, it's refreshing to hear someone that knows her self-worth and simply chooses to rise above it. That's very nice.
And Todd said, hey, thanks for sharing this. This is beyond imaginable. You hear guys bitch about how girls should be treated the same and shouldn't be cherry picked for a seat. You should be equally outraged when the qualifications for the seat are not the same themselves. Yeah.
And I feel like Leonard J. Stewart wrapped it all up with, that's messed up.
That's my brother-in-law. Hey, shout out. So last thought on this, because I happen to be a lady racer. And I think somebody said it along the way, or it might actually have been in your article, but really nobody usually asks any of the males to say, we just need to see a little bit more of your skin.
Yeah.
So hey,
Valtteri. Why don't you just whip it out?
No.
Whip out the dong.
No.
We need to see it.
No, we don't. Let's just not make you sign a contract for that.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm going to be judging a lot of Lemons races this year, and we'll talk about this later. But Gentleman Dave's also going to be doing a lot of work with AER. If I see anybody's sack, you're getting like 100 penalty laps. I'm just going to throw that out right now. Don't want to see it. Nope.
But notice he limited it to the sack. So if you
if you want to show him shaft, go right ahead.
If I see you're absolutely right to call me out on that, Chris. Thank you. If I
all
see
he wants,
naked crotch, any naked crotch at all, you're getting 100 laps. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. Foreskin, totally fine, but not the sack.
All right.
This portion of the show brought to you by onlylambs.com.
But really, thank you for revealing the show. Your article was lovely, Brad, and it's great to know. Yeah,
thank you.
It's
I saw a couple of tweets going around, so I did some more research into it and tried to get a translation of what was said on the podcast, which was obviously not in the language I speak.
Yeah, it was.
So,
well, and again,
it's
not like Finnish racers are known for being verbose,
right?
Upcoming races. We got
not even
races?
Close, Jeff. We're actually still at listener feedback.
Oh, are we? No, I thought we were done.
I have
just move
upcoming
on.
races are next week.
Oh,
they're just grayed out.
sorry.
Okay, we're going right into listener feedback. Let's go.
It's a few weeks overdue, but our friend Josh Jenny wanted to know why I was so slow at our last go-kart race. And I replied, well, if I knew, I wouldn't be slow. And he decided that should be my new catchphrase. And now he wants credit for it. Now, we are actually hoping to have Josh on the show because he does a lot of cool race car stuff. So we're going to get him on the show this year. But until we have him on the show, get bent, Josh.
So I had a personal back and forth from our friend Giant Dave, who said his goal for 2021 was to wear more PPE. And he quotes, I was too tired of hearing too many Facebook stink eyes, and the E1R preacher lady finally sinks in. So he sent a picture of him with his safety glasses on. So I wasn't sure if I should be flattered or concerned. But then he said more people should take note. Listen to me. Wear more PPE. Tell your friends. He said he is too. So thank you for that.
I've been sending Dave Honda service manual bits for his CL from my Honda Tech Line subscription, as he has that whole thing torn apart. So, but we're going to have Giant Gentleman Dave on the show after the retreat from Moscow Rally, so he can tell us that about it, especially because he's teamed up to do it with Sasha. So the stories are going to be very, very good there.
I hope the roof stays on.
Anyway,
both of them have taken too many reciprocating saws to too many vehicles. Like that is a recipe for disaster.
Oh, it's only going to be wonderful. They need a camera there all the time.
All right. So David Eckel, he reached out on the Instagram and he said, hey, nerds, a thought crossed my mind while listening to the podcast the other day. Do any of you know anything about importing 25-year-old cars, logistics, costs, pitfalls, etc.? Sounds crazy, but he has a hankering for a Ford Ka, right? We say Ka, we don't say Ka, right? Ka.
No, it's a car in Boston.
It's a Ka. That's right. For those of you who don't know, a Ford Ka is a tiny little teeny weeny thing.
I have driven a Ka.
Oh, okay. I'm excited to hear this.
Did you pack it too?
Yes, I put it in my carry-on to bring it home. Okay. No, when I lived in Spain as a foreign exchange student in high school, my host family had an A3 diesel and a Ka. Those were their two cars. And so when we were both too young, me and my host brother were both too young to drive, but we would occasionally steal the Ka and go in town when the parents were at work. So, I've driven a Ka in Spain without a license.
The people in England, I used to steal the
Ka when I was young too.
The people in England love them. They were like one of the first cars I heard about people like buying new ones and then selling it 2-3 years later for the exact same price that they bought it for, because every single one of them was so desired.
They rusted really, really bad.
Did they? I don't. Yeah.
You can't find a good one anymore, unfortunately. Like there are some of the, especially the 96s that are 25 years old. Those early ones are really, really bad. Later, they had some changes that made them a little better, and you can get like performance models like the Street Ka.
Yeah.
Those you'll have to wait for. I think that was like 2001.
Which, by the way, if you want a hilarious YouTube video, Google the commercials for the Street Ka.
Oh, the one with the cat that gets its hot chopped off in the sunroof is hilarious.
Or the pigeon that gets launched. Yeah, these are great.
Chrissy's looking like frightened. I don't think it was a real cat.
Okay, I might need to go watch it now anyway.
Yeah. So somebody added to the notes here that we know somebody who is a European car importer.
Yes, we do.
Well, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have given Dave I sent him the podcast from Dave's buddy, from Brad's buddy.
It's totally fine because I already hooked Dave Eckel up with our known importer.
Oh, okay.
They had an extended conversation on Facebook. So if you're interested in importing some obscure European car, we actually have a fellow racer and really all around great person. And you can find him at Bad Car or Terrible Car Guy on Instagram, but he's got an entire service set up where he gets the car inspected, does all the paperwork. It is totally worth it. And if you want a dumb idea to bring back to the US, he's your guy. So get a hold of us on any of our social media and he'll do it.
I'll still plug the Hello Road podcast, where Ethan did a great episode a couple of months ago on importing.
Fact.
They were talking
Total
mostly
fact.
JDM cars to California, which has some extra little bits in it. But yeah,
But our guy is in Serbia.
Oh, now I know who you're talking about. All right. Who else has got some listener feedback?
No.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to ask a
You
question.
didn't finish
This is
reading.
part of it.
Sorry, I didn't read ahead.
We got distracted by the car.
Around the horn, what do you want to import? What weirdness would make you excited?
Jeff,
Chris.
you're supposed to start. What would you want?
I don't know. I
You
didn't
didn't
think of
read
it.
it.
I just thought about it. You start, and then I will go to myself.
Got it. So realistically, I would take a 91 CRX SIR with the glass roof and the B16A. Silver dropped on some Volk T37s, I think would be very nice. Not realistic. A green TVR Griffith 500.
Yeah. Okay.
And if
Right.
you've never seen Swordfish, you need to watch it.
Well, that was a Tuscan Speed 6, but
Oh,
anyway,
I'm
Griffith,
so sorry.
Griffith is still in the 90s. It's actually importable now, and we are only one more year until you can get the V12 second generation Toyota Century
Oh,
to be an absolutely Japanese baller
yes,
in what was probably the finest car in the world at the time.
easily.
Okay, I'm going to admit that I needed a little help with this one, but I'm totally in love with it. I'm getting an AutoZam AZ1.
They're cool cars.
AutoZams
So
are definitely
cute.
cool.
Totally cool cars.
We actually saw one of those at Radwood. You might not remember it because you didn't know what it was. We
It's
walked right by
probably
one.
true. I probably oodled over it when it was there.
Yeah.
AutoZams are awesome. I don't really fit in them, but they're very awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know what I would bring.
I remember you like Chris. What when you lived in Europe? What was the car you had?
We had a Fiat Fiorino, which is
Thank
one of those.
you.
It's an economy car front with a box on the back.
I would take any one of those. There was like a Peugeot version, but like that one, I think
Renault.
all of those cars are friggin' cool as heck. Is like an economy car front with a
It's like a
box on the
Transit
back.
Connect. It's like
Yes, and they're just neat. Or as our friend who will happily help you import one, he started sending me pictures of really cool Lada wagons, and I am all about that.
See, I if I was going to go to a lot, it would be the Niven, the 4-wheel drive one, the one that looks all jacked up.
a Neva. Yeah.
Neva, thank you.
Yeah.
Neva.
Cool car. But then I saw the wagons, and I'm like, oh,
I'll
if
have
I'm
to
going to
check
be
that
out.
stupid, I'm going to be full stupid.
Mental
no.
for the desert, you need a Citroen Mahari out in Vegas.
Oh, I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to Google that.
I'm going to Google it after the show, but yes. Actually, I'll probably Google it now while Brad's telling us what he would bring in from Europe.
I have a very esoteric one. So in 1995 and 1996, there was a rally homologation car called the Renault Clio Williams Maxi.
Oh, yes.
I know
A
that car.
hell yes.
And the Maxi they only made 50 of, and it had wider arches and bigger wheels and more power. So that's the one I want.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
They're probably
Chris-
like $100,000 now, but anyway.
Chris, you're 100% right. I withdraw my inclusion, and now I want a Citroen Mahari. That is freaking awesome.
Yeah, Maharis are dope.
Yep.
How do you spell that? Mahari?
MEHAR.
Yeah.
Jeff, if you enable
I
screen
was doing
sharing-
MA. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
that
can
is-
enable screen share.
that is the coolest little thing. There was a company here in Las Vegas that was renting the Mini Moke electric cars.
Yes, we saw
For you
that.
to drive up, and of course now because of everything that has happened, they are now selling them, and there's one for about 16 grand. I'm waiting for the price to keep coming down.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, exactly. And that would be a great daily driver. We're on like day 270. Well, we had some rainfall, but we're on like day 270 without measurable rainfall. And I could drive all those things every day. So Jeff, have you enabled?
I did.
All right. So I'm going to, for our YouTube users, I'm going to bring this up. This is what Chris just suggested to me. And I just want to show that he is 100% right, because this car is 100% cool.
Well, I should tell you what it is. It's a Citroen 2CV with like a plastic like tub of the body and a windshield. And they made them for driving in the desert in North Africa.
It was the thing for
French
I
was going to say it looks like a thing, but French.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's and he's 100% right. This is exactly what I would want here.
And it looks like you can get one for 10,000 pounds ish, which I have no idea what that is in English. American
about
money.
15
grand. Yeah.
That's a nice one though. I mean, that's good.
Yeah, that's like a great one.
Yeah. So anyway, for those it looks like a mini moke, but French, which it's hard to improve on a mini moke, but making it French does.
It looked a lot bigger.
Has a baguette and a beret. And no, I used to live in a town in southwestern Connecticut that was pretty bougie, and they had a French restaurant in town, and the owner would drive around in that thing when the weather was nice.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's dope.
Sweet. All right, let's talk about iRacing.
So it was the Funduro counterclockwise this week at Monza Oval. We did it Merc style. 87 NASCARs duel with the open wheel Lotus 49s, and then the Mustangs battled the street stocks, and of course, Jettas and Miatas. At the opening, I even said so if you watch the broadcast. Uncle Dave looks strong, but ultimately Matt Sitko ran away with it. And at just over the halfway point, when we offered them the standard, you're winning by too much, we're going to give you a black flag penalty, he offered to take himself out. But since he didn't use up all of his quick repairs because they'd limited him to 6, he was able to take out the second place guy when he took himself out.
I don't think that was on purpose. I think that was
not on purpose. It was not on purpose. And then able to get his car fixed and then hold on to a top spot. But you know what? The real winners, those were the Class C Jetta and Miata people who literally just put a rubber band around their accelerator pedal and drove for 2 hours. And ultimately it was won by one of the DeCuzzi brothers. I think they got like first and third, and there was a Jetta in the middle.
And in our E1R race, we said, well, let's do something different. So we did dirt tracks in dirt cars. Like we got our redneck on. And so first we went to USA International in Lakeland, Florida, which is a 3/4 mile oval. And then Limaville, Ohio, which is a 1/4 mile oval. And that was at night. So a 1/4 mile oval is basically a circle. Like there's not really a straight.
There's no straight. Like the track goes straight, but you're turning in like before you exit the other turn.
Yeah. And the center of it is just more dirt in the center with like some half buried tires. So these things are all frankly just terrible. They're terrible. We all said these are awful. We don't like them, except Jay Becker. He's an alien on any surface. I don't know how the hell he does it. I don't know if he likes it either. So once we stopped trying and just made a mess of things, then we laughed a lot. There was a lot of fun there, but we had to realize none of us are going to be good at this. So we're just going to keep spinning out of each other and laughing, and so be it. So we're not going to be doing dirt cars on dirt tracks anytime soon, because trucks and 87s and Kias are a lot more fun on dirt than like a modified. So,
true.
Yeah. And if you want, Brad, do you iRace yet?
No, I'm terrible enough at like Forza that
you totally belong with us then. You totally
we don't. We're not good. We just have a good time.
With what time? He has so many projects going on. He has to sit down at a computer.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah. But like even people that are good come to our league so that they don't have to be good, except for Becker, of course. It's so get a hold of us on any of the social medias. I'll give you the password, or we'll give you the password, and we'll give you the Discord link, which is 90% of the entertainment.
Yeah, and the only reason we have a password is to keep like random people who don't know what the hell it is in. So you get the password. You just got to ask us.
Yeah.
It's 4 letters long, and it's our favorite brake pad. You could probably figure it out if you listen to the show.
Exactly. I just don't want anyone in there. You guys aren't racing correctly.
Yes. Why are you all crashing? We don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't know what surprise butt sex is, you don't belong in our league.
You're gonna learn at our race.
Oh,
There's a transition there, but I'm not going to take it.
No.
I'm
Why
gonna
do we
do it.
always do this?
I'm going to do a different
You
transition.
know who doesn't join us for the iRacing on a Monday Night League?
Oh.
Because she
She's too
doesn't
busy
have
making awesome cookies.
That's
is
true.
Chrissy's mom, and I am saving this because we are not going to go to that transition. Chrissy's mom,
you.
I finished Chrissy's mom's cookies literally last night.
Oh, that was the
Because-
last
well,
one.
Did you
because-
forget yours?
They
Mitchell
just
still hasn't gotten him. He said
I'm-
before Christmas.
Here's the thing is I will happily place that blame at the U.S. Postal Service.
I mean,
No,
we all are.
postal
Believe
service
us.
is terrible.
No, and again, like literally since we started this podcast, every holiday and every birthday, I've gotten an extensive collection of snickerdoodles.
I mean, literally, she sent them on the 21st.
yeah.
And-
My
and-
grandmother's gift hasn't arrived yet either.
Yeah.
She sent it on the 15th.
Yeah. And the thing about it is they're so good, and everyone who listens to the show knows they're so good. They're worth waiting for. And if they don't show up,
They're going to be a little stale. I got to admit that last night I was like, I remember when these are good.
No, put it in
if
the
they don't
microwave.
show up, that means that a group of postal workers had some really
I
great
don't think
cookies.
that's gonna happen though. That's the sad thing.
My birthday is in like 30 days. I know more are coming. I'm totally fine.
Hopefully they're fixed by then.
My point being is I want to acknowledge the effort of Carol. So thank you.
I'll let her know.
Hey, you know what takes no effort at all? Booking one of our favorite guests. We're going to move on to the main topic right now and talk to our people.
I actually reached out to Mental.
I
believe it
know.
or not.
I
I
know.
wasn't
We
gonna,
said,
I wasn't gonna
yes.
sell you out like
Zero
that, bro. I wasn't
It's
gonna sell you
almost-
out.
It's almost like I enjoy being on this show.
Mental said, I know we try not to have a lot of guests, but I'd like to have Brad. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brad back.
That is actually
absolutely.
how that text conversation went. As I was typing Brad, they all went yes.
So we already did the introduction, so we already know who you are. Do we need to talk about all the things that you do?
I don't.
Yes,
I do.
Yes,
I do too much. I do too much.
because he's added some stuff since last time.
So
I have.
So throw the resume out there. Who are you writing for at the moment? We already mentioned Jalopnik.
Mm-hmm. I write for Jalopnik basically every day. I'm the nights editor, but I also cover motorcycles, motorsport, and EVs for the site, among other things. If there's news, I just drop in whatever.
Yeah.
I am editor.
The founder of Radwood.
Yes, I'm not done writing yet though. I still have more than one thing that I write for.
Sorry.
I am the editor-in-chief of flat6s.com, which is a site about Porsche. And I have a weekly column at a site called EV Pulse, started by my friend Chad Kirchner. And it's a good site. You should check it out if you like anything about electric vehicles at all. So
This is only a
And
little why he doesn't.
pimp
He doesn't
the
iRace.
pimp the NPR show again.
sure, it's called 10 and 2. It's on KWNK 97.9 Reno. And it's supposed to be every other week. The holidays kind of messed that up, so I should be on shortly. But I've done 3 episodes so far. The first one was about the chicken tax. The second one was about electric vehicles, just like a primer for people who don't know anything about them. The third one was for winter driving tips. And the fourth one is upcoming, and that'll be the North Korea story. So
Nice. That is intriguing. That did you like do the history of the chicken tax, or like all the way
Yes.
to like current things?
Everything from why chickens are important to the United States diet, all the way through to today.
Nice.
It started with pre-Civil War antebellum slavery, all the way through to why there are so many
That's-
trucks on
Because
the market.
Brad doesn't
today.
half
That
ass
sounds very
Wow.
thorough.
It
Excellent.
was very thorough.
I want to get the back seat out of a Transit Connect just to say I have one.
You have one. And And then car shows, obviously Radwood. We haven't had a show in almost a year. It was February of 2020 when we had our last show.
Which you did some cool online stuff because you're ready to adapt.
Yep, we did attempt to adapt. It worked really well for 2 shows, and then nobody showed up for the 3rd one. So we had to pivot again. So we've been pivoting basically all year. We have a new auction platform that should be launching next month called Rad for Sale. And
which I'm not going to buy anything off that website.
You say that now.
Oh,
I do say that now, but I'll tell you right now, you're going to get a tax-free refund of how many wasted government hours I'm going to spend on this.
Yeah, probably.
I am so excited for that.
Yeah.
Me too. I am a huge Bring a Trailer fan. I get the every day. I literally show Chris a car every day. So I can't wait to subscribe. I can't wait to see how many cool cars are on there.
Yeah.
Won't be a 911, a 911, an M3, a 911,
right.
a 911.
Oh, this NSX. Oh, ding, right? Another NSX.
Right.
Oh, another NSX. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you already have one of those?
Yeah.
Yes.
We watch them to see how much they go for. We're not going to sell ours, but look at them.
I do the same thing for 912Es, so I get it.
Yeah, but there's like 4 of those.
Yeah.
Right?
They just chain hands a lot.
But yeah. So Rad for Sale hopefully will be launching next week or next month. We had planned to do it earlier, but we ran into some issues with platform programming and stuff. So we're trying to get that worked out now. And hopefully it'll be ready for prime time coming next month. So look out for that. You can get signed up for further information at radforsale.com. Radwood, we are hoping to be back probably by summer. Obviously we're going to keep social distancing and masking, and please get your vaccines and make sure that you're not coming to the show sick and all that. But hopefully things will be clear enough and we can get some restrictions lifted by then and actually do it responsibly. We've been sitting out for a year because we don't want people to die to come to our show. I know people are dying to go to Radwood, but not that way.
Not that kind.
Let's not make it literal.
Fact.
So we're hoping to have the show kicked off again. We have some preliminary plans for like late spring, but I think those are probably going to get pushed back still. So I would say maybe June-ish. Keep an eye out for that. Obviously, follow us on social channels, and we'll keep you up to date on it.
And we're going to lean on Brad to get us all these links, so these will be in the show notes.
Maybe.
He's like, I don't really need them.
Okay, I'm going to lean on Brad's wife to get all these links.
We'll
to
Google
monitor
it
me
and find it.
to make sure that,
So I wrote the first question before you mentioned all these kinds of things, but now I'm like actually going to ask it.
Yeah.
Like in June, you were like, I'm taking a break. I'm going to do less. I'm relaxing.
Yeah.
And the whole like blood thing on the back from England. And now you're like, I got 12,000 shows, man. I'm still everything.
I'm not done listing things yet, so we'll get there. But I have reduced my travel. I'm not traveling nearly as much, which has helped tremendously. I spend a lot more time on motorcycles, which chills me the heck out to no end. I'm so glad that I fell into motorcycling. I have been taking the right medications, and everything is going well there. My doctors say I'm okay. And I think most importantly for my health, I got a CPAP machine, and I'm actually sleeping. Apparently I wasn't sleeping real well.
Hello,
I
Jeff.
I know.
You should listen to this. Good for you.
And she doesn't say that just as someone who's concerned for Jeff's health.
That's true.
She is, but she says that as someone who's shared an RV.
And Chris and I have both woken up. Sorry to cut you off, Brad.
Oh, no, not just you and Chris.
Oh, everybody. Well, but we have looked at each other and been like, hi, is he going to die?
Is he alive? I know.
I've held my hand above him, just about to slap him because he hadn't breathed in so long.
We're like,
and then he snorted to life. Oh, well.
So I also have a CPAP machine that I have not been able to get to work for myself. And during
says all of them.
During the COVID, I have run out of my medication. and have not returned to the doctor. So I need to get on that.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. When I went in for my test in my sleep study, they said, "Oh yeah, you have like 21 apnea moments per hour," and that's not good.
That's a lot.
No, that's a
It's
lot.
like every 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently I wasn't sleeping very well, and that has really reduced my stress a lot.
Yeah. That's also really bad. I mean, it's really bad for your heart. I know now it's like everyone health study. It's really
sure.
But anyway.
We've gone all over the place today.
But so anyway, to answer your question, I'm taking care of myself better, but I'm also working probably harder.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Smarter too, I hope.
But that's one of those things that matters.
Yeah. And by cutting travel, I've helped a lot because I always stress so much about flying and driving across the country and stuff. So now I really only go to events that I really want to go to. So,
and it's awesome that you've got that kind of leverage on your life. I got to spend, some extended time with Chris and Chrissy this weekend. And one of the funniest yet most inspirational moments was watching Chrissy run downstairs because she'd been working all morning. And she's like, I got like 3 minutes to my workout class, and then run down to the basement to do her workout class, and then run back upstairs because she had another meeting. And it's been tempting to kind of start blowing off our health during this COVID crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And this is exactly the time when you need to double down.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
We interrupted your resume, so please feel free to get back to that.
I have my last one is the new one that I just launched on the 1st of this year. I have a new car show, and it's called Autopia 2099, and it's for all electric, plug-in hybrid, and hybrid vehicles in Southern California.
Now,
Autopia 2099.
Autopia 2099. Again,
why you spell it? So we make sure you get that.
It's auto.
You're going to need to text or email me that link because you were on the Garage Heroes and podcast training earlier.
Not yet.
Okay, because Bill sent
on Monday
when we announced that you were coming. Bill sent me a text that says, "Hey, we're also having him on."
Hey, Mental, if you shut up, we can let Brad tell us the link out here. We got halfway through before Mental decided he was more important.
It's a Utopia 2099.
Yes,
got it.
So
or Autopia.
Sure. Yes.
Link will be in our show notes.
Yes.
Brad's going to text it to me right now.
Follow us on Twitter
it's also called
and Instagram.
Autopia2099.com. So
it's already in the show notes. You're all good.
There you go.
I have the website, but it doesn't have anything on it right now. So just follow us on social media. But yes. So it's for electric cars, hybrids, that kind of thing. Anything powered by electricity. I told somebody if they want to invent hydrogen fuel cell powered inline skates, they're more than welcome to come to the show.
That's really the key in Southern California. The rotting community is embracing the electrified motors.
Also when it comes to hydrogen powered electric inline skates, we're looking at you, Hamza, and Gentleman Dave.
And Sasha. Sasha's the one that inline skates.
How did I miss Sasha? You're totally right.
So definitely the hot rodding thing is what got me into electric enthusiasm in the first place, because guys like Bisimoto built a Porsche 935 powered by a Tesla motor that just rips. The guys at EV West recently set an electric land speed record.
Yeah, EV West was the first group that I really saw that was, and they began with like Volkswagen buses.
Yeah. They did Volkswagen powered or electric powered
Volkswagens. Yeah, which were amazing.
They still sell at home kits to install yourself.
Yep. For all Porsches and Volkswagens, they still sell kit, and they sell a bunch of other kits, and they'll swap pretty much anything these days. But they really rose to fame with a Pikes Peak M3 maybe you remember a few years back.
Yes.
That thing is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting those guys. We're working on getting them. Busy has already said he's coming with maybe 5 cars. We're trying to get all of the OEMs to bring their exciting stuff. I'm getting some EV1s from museums.
Ooh.
Everything from
Who's gonna let them out of a museum? I thought GM
few.
like don't get near my EV1.
No, they can do whatever they want with them. They just can't drive them. They're not legal to drive anymore. GM took all of the inverters, so there's allegedly there's one that runs, but I don't know if anyone knows where that is.
So if you have an EV1, they have stolen your inverter, but you could then buy a West kit and put They
won't. GM will confiscate your car if you do that. Unfortunately,
as much as I love the EV1 because it was cool, I am fighting the urge to yell LS all the things right now.
Tesla swap all the things. That's my new thing.
Yeah, there we go. Tesla swap all the cool things. I'm down.
So
I want a Beetle convertible with an EV West swap.
You do.
I live in Las
you?
Vegas. It'd
That'd be amazing.
Awesome. Yeah,
that'd be amazing. I want a thing. I want a thing with an EV swap. That would be.
Don't you want a 912 with an EV swap? Isn't that?
No, I still like my 912. That'll eventually be hybrid. But right now, I just like it the way it is. I literally just spent like $12,000 rebuilding that motor. I can't rip it out. So
our 914 pal Eric Kritzler, we're gonna have to get him to EV swap one of his many dilapidated 914s.
I've driven an electric 914. It's awesome. It's real awesome. So yeah,
there you go, Eric. Yeah.
So the whole thing with this show, Radwood has like an interactive element and it has its own style and stuff like that. Obviously, we're not doing anything like that. Autopia 2099 is going to be a retro futuristic vibe. It's going to feel like Buck Rogers, World's Fair, Eames Chair looking kind of mid-mod feel.
So as the oldest guy on this show, Jean Grey will be there to sign autographs. I'm just
sure, why not?
Okay. No, Tweaky will be from Buck Rogers, the little robot.
Jean Grey was the best part of that show.
Yes, but we can't get her. We're gonna get Tweaky. So I love this.
If there's a best part of anything, I can get it.
Yeah. So we need like an Afrofuturist section. So, like we need to have like one section where, like all like the funk masters and like all of the like 70s retro futuristic black experiences.
Yeah. I'd be totally down.
That would be awesome. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally people will realize how far ahead of their time Funkadelic really was.
Yeah, Parliament was amazing. So, do you have like show dates or anything? I know we're like the middle of COVID. You're just starting. Like, where are we at? We got a website.
This will be the website doesn't exist yet. I own the URL. I just haven't built anything yet. But we are aiming for a December, like first or second weekend of December. It depends on the venue. We got to figure that out. But I think hopefully by December things will be calmed down enough that we should be able to go through without any issues.
Where? Because
Los Angeles.
Because you started Radwood as almost a joke, not 100% joke, but like 90% joke, and you're like, oh crap!
It turned into something.
Right.
Yeah.
And
something amazing.
Yeah. This I believe in 100%. I mean, I definitely believe in Radwood 100%. But when we started Radwood, the first one was like, oh, just a thing for us and our friends. And it turned into something amazing. And we go, oh, man, we were way ahead of the curve.
I'm just thinking back to the Philly show at the Navy Yard.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was unbelievable.
It was awesome.
Like, it were so many cars, and you kept going around a corner. You're like, oh my God, there's more people.
That wasn't even our biggest show. we've had. I mean, our most recent show in Texas was like 1,000 cars.
Oh,
Yes, and that was at the race
The racetrack.
driveway
Driveway,
Austin,
yeah.
and
We filled the track.
You almost
Holy
ran
crap.
out of racetrack,
Yeah,
and this is Texas.
yeah.
you can't run
Yeah,
out
it
of
was-
land in Texas. That's
it
what
was
hard
like-
to
You
do.
start parking them in the field over there.
Well, they had a second racetrack we could have filled too. But,
Oh, that's amazing.
But yeah, it was
Good times.
what is the track there? I think it's like 1.9 miles, and we had both sides of the track all the way around full.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I've instructed, driven, raced at Driveway Austin, and there were so many great social media posts of people that are like, "Oh my God, I did not know how much great stuff was there."
Yeah,
And so, and I'm not trying to distract from your electric car show. I want to
sure.
show the caliber of what you're bringing to this. Is
Yes.
Radwood, as much as you think Radwood was awesome, amplify that times 10. And so this is the energy that you're bringing to this new alternative.
Yes.
Now, I don't ever want to throw stones at a guest that isn't a friend, but since you're a friend, I'm going to suggest that, is it possible that the Southern California electric car owner might be a little too serious for your brand of car show?
I think they're going to get to the show and realize what it is.
Like
And
when
they're
you say
either
come in a spacesuit.
sure. Yes. So my idea is, if we get 5% of the people to come to the show and really get into it, that 5% will inspire the next show to be 30%. And the next show to be
You're
80%.
not wrong.
Yeah, I
This is
absolutely
a
agree.
good
Yeah.
plan.
I mean, that's
So-
probably how Radwood came to
Yes,
be. Yeah,
totally. I mean, yeah, Radwood has traditionally been, 1 in 5 people will dress up.
and
some
those
shows-
people went all
All out. All out.
out. I was like,
But the
where
great
did we get
thing-
this stuff?
The great thing about Southern California is, think about how many sci-fi fans go to Comic-Con and dress up.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I think those people will be the ones that'll have a good time, and they'll get it. There's probably some Tesla owners that are going to come and be a little too hoity-toity.
They can all stand next to each other.
I don't
I love-
understand. Don't they understand? It's about supercharging.
Yeah, I do love Teslas. I had a Model Y for the last month, and it was a great car. I aside from the owner of the company and some of their advertising practices, love everything about it. But
Panel
and maybe
gaps.
some of the build quality.
Yes,
is
I was
maybe
going to
not
say
so
panel
great,
gaps
but
or a thing you like. Enjoy.
they're really figuring that out, though. I think the panel gaps, they got a little better. They still haven't quite figured out paint, and they still haven't quite figured out construction, because the edge of the door is folded over the inside of the door.
like
So-
it's pinching and
Yeah,
okay.
it's just a
Overlapping.
pinch.
Yeah.
It's just a pinch, so that we haven't built cars like that for 40 years, and
I
and
think the
it-
problem is the NUMMI plan. I think as soon as they said, I'm going to build a quality car at NUMMI, that's the issue.
hey,
Hey, somehow
Newbie used
Toyota
to
can do it.
build,
Right.
Newbie used to
I
build
will-
quality cars.
I will not have you badmouth the Numi cat
No, I'm
Yeah.
down
on
to
this
the NUMMI plan.
podcast.
Yeah, Newbie turned out the
Cat,
the
not the
Chevy
plant.
Nova.
I don't care about the plant. I care about the cat.
Oh.
Hey, the plant did a good job. That was the
Yeah.
longest lasting Chevys were those Novas, and
Nova,
what do
yeah, the Nova twin cam.
Nova,
with the
yes.
black top,
Right.
Like, come on. That's
how many
great.
people
Boom.
tried to kill their Geo Prism and couldn't? Right?
Yep.
And this is where I get real, and way off topic. We're coming back to topic. This is where I get really upset when people start talking about, the UAW. Look, America can build the best car in the world.
Mhm.
The problem is the management.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. It is.
There's a
I
mic drop
agree.
there. All
I
right.
think.
it's a man.
GM's problem has always been GM.
Without a doubt. And
How many
Ford's
times should we
problem
say
is typically a
because
guy with the
GM?
last name Ford, right?
Yep. Yep.
There's their.
And Chrysler's just an S show. They do something cool, and then
how many
nothing else
times
goes.
have they almost failed and then like managed to somehow pick themselves back up? I wish the last time they hadn't been bailed out. They didn't deserve it.
No.
They didn't deserve it. They promised us the world and delivered us Hellcats. Anyway.
But you know what? They're
Hold on.
selling the pants off them
I will
damn
not
things.
join in the dogging on Hellcats because
Hey.
I've driven Hellcat everything.
You know what? It's 2020, and if you get 9 miles to the gallon, you don't deserve to exist.
Until you get 700 horsepower and
No.
supercharger wine,
Nope.
and it's so good. It's
Nope.
so good.
The plumber down the street doesn't deserve 700 horsepower. That's the fact.
Doesn't he? Doesn't
He doesn't know how to use it. He doesn't.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't need to use it. He just needs to know that it's available.
Yeah, all right.
And because he's a plumber and he's earned it. We digress.
I'm not bad mouthing plumbers. Plumbers are great. They just
We love plumbers. We question Chrysler.
Yeah, that's the reality. Yep.
So all right. So we got the elevator pitch. Chrissy, we're a little
actively
worried
trying.
here, but Chrissy, go for it.
I've been actively trying. I have actually put my mic down 3 times and said, "Okay, we'll just wait till this rant's over." I feel like, but also this is kind of a weird pivot. How are your Christmas and New Year's? Did you get anything cool? We already heard about your better half. So what'd you do for Christmas? And
honestly, we didn't do much. We stayed home and chilled. Our Christmas budget this year was spent on solar panels for the house and new high efficiency appliances.
This is adulting Christmas for you.
It is. That's the exciting Christmas.
That's right. And then
hey, baby, I got you a front loader.
And then I bought myself a Nissan Leaf for $2,000 off Craigslist.
Nothing wrong with that. You get a Leaf for $2,000?
Nope, I did.
I was gonna say, I can't imagine finding a Leaf for $2,000.
Yeah. What happened was some people in Central Valley, California, bought a Leaf out of San Francisco. They got stranded, killing the battery on the way home because they didn't know how short the range was, and they registered it, insured it, and gave it to their grandmother, and she hated it. So 2 months of insurance and registration, they sold the car.
Wow.
So they probably bought it for $5,000 or $6,000.
Yeah, exactly, because that's what they're getting. And
then knew nothing about it and hated it, and then put it on Craigslist, and nobody bought it for $4,500 for like 3 months. So they said $2,000, whoever comes and gets it. And I was like, I'm on it.
It is worth mentioning that this article is on Jalopnik, and Brad will be texting me a link.
Give it up.
How many links am I going to send you?
All of the links, Brad. You need to text me.
Google it. You know it's there. You find it.
Go on Jalopnik and search by author, and there you go.
I've already found everything he's talking about. Google. I already made myself Rad for sale. Already on your.
Because Chrissy's on point. That's how that happens.
I'll send you the links.
I read the article. It's actually a great article.
I'm gonna just send you a good link now, Mental. See how you like this one.
Is it let me Google that for you?
It totally is, actually. Yeah.
So
I did get some cool things. Nothing necessarily for Christmas, but got some cool things. And Amanda's doing great. She's at home right now, doom scrolling through Twitter because idiots are ransacking the Capitol.
Yes.
But anyway,
what is her Twitter? Because I find her, and I say this respectfully, Brad, I like you, but I only agree with about 60% of what you say.
That's fair.
But I
think I only agree with about 60% of what I say.
I find myself agreeing with like literally everything Mandy Pants. So what is her Twitter? Mandy Pants?
Mandy Pants 231.
Mandy Pants 231. I find myself agreeing with 100% of Mandy Pants 231.
Is that named after the Buick V6? Is that like?
No, but it should be. No, I actually had a 231 when I was my TR7 had a 231 swap in it. I forgot all about that.
We had one of them in our race fleet for a little while.
Nice. Yeah.
With a 231.
With a 231. Yeah.
Mine was an old Oddfire. It was
So was this one.
Uh-huh.
nice.
Did it
There's
start off
finding
yellow?
parts for it.
Yeah. What, was it yellow? I'm just wondering, like, is this the same car?
No, mine. I tried to make it my first hot rod build when I got my first job in high school, and I pulled the motor out, rebuilt the motor, and it never went back into anything.
Okay.
So it's still sitting at my parents' house with like $3,000 worth of parts in it.
Oh no, you still have it around? It's one of those things like
No.
you're like, that happened. It's cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I think one day it's going to end up in a sandrail dragster, and I'm going to kill myself in it. So that'll be the.
That's intriguing.
You don't have that
did
kind
it
of time.
by any chance have a
That's
dog
true.
leg T5?
No, it had a THM 300 or 350.
The first time I got into it to
automatic.
race it, he goes, first is down and to the left. I was like, what?
It's a T50. Yeah.
T50, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought T5.
Andy, at the risk of, and I'm totally not being creepy, when you get
Yes.
sick of his crap, come down to Las Vegas. You and my wife can hang out, bring the dogs, it'll be fine.
That's creepy.
Genuinely, you are the most patient woman on the planet.
Next to Mental's wife, next
That's
to
what
my
I was going to
wife.
say.
She almost
Chrissy's
died
not that patient.
she almost died in that Triumph TR7 because the brakes went out on the highway, and she somehow managed to put that in the past and stayed with me. So
Awesome.
This is cool.
Right.
Go ahead. Somebody else said
No, I was.
Chris.
Chris, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were last week we were talking about the year, and as much as everyone says, hate 2020, we said there's actually some good things that happened this year if you think about it, actually.
Yeah.
So, what comes to mind is something great that you either saw or did last year?
The last great thing that I did a few great things, honestly, in 2020. One of them was Radwood Austin, which was huge and just so awesome. Everybody brought it.
I am looking at all the pictures.
Dude,
'cause I
it was
had to.
amazing.
It looks amazing.
It was amazing.
Find
many of these
find
cars.
Radwood Official on IG and follow them because it is awesome.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun. I did a couple of road trips. I actually worked on cars. We moved into a new house in June. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, there was some good there. It was a pretty trash fire year, but there was some good in there. I had an okay year. I published a lot of stories I'm really proud of. I got to, interview people that I never really would have believed that I would have interviewed. So that was cool. Gordon Murray, for example. That was
Excellent.
pretty sweet. So yeah, I mean, all in, it was probably a net negative, but there were some positive moves in there. So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Managed to salvage something out of that hell year.
Good. I think everybody can. You just have to stop and think about it and get over the fact that the year sucked. But you know what?
Yeah.
Some good stuff happened.
Yeah.
Nothing is 100%. So shamelessly name dropping, but you did it earlier, so it makes it a little less.
Mental loves to do that.
I do. You and I got to talk at Gingerman. You rode a Ducati Divel from Reno, Nevada
Yep.
to Michigan and then back again,
Yep.
which and again, you and I got to hang out for a bit. In
October.
Seriously. And before listeners get all like, oh, well, he's an automotive journalist, this crazy guy packed a tent. So he went old school friggin', rider on this
For
one.
2 days.
For
2 days. My
for
second
2 days. For 2 days, both ways. So
No. I went old school for 2 days.
okay,
Because
tell
when
me,
I woke up,
just tell us
when I
about that
woke up
trip.
and it was 26 degrees, I booked a hotel.
We're all too old for 20 degrees in a tent.
Yeah.
20 degrees in a
most,
tent.
most of you youngins are too old.
I was going to say 20.
For to ride a Ducati DeVelle, I would suck up 26 degrees.
Yes, but we all have credit cards and jobs, and we could be like,
yes,
hotel.
Yeah, hotel sounds real good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it was what was it, 6,000 miles, just over 6,000 miles.
Yeah, legit, kind of badass.
Yeah.
And I'm a hardcore biker, Brad, but I think you may have got me on this one. I
wanted to do a long trip on a bike. I'd never done it before. I've done like to LA and back, which is, 1,200, 1,600 miles, which is not nothing, but it's not across the country. And I wanted to do something big. And so I asked Ducati if I could borrow a bike, and they said, yeah, we've got this Diablo. How does that sound? I was like, yeah, that sounds good. So I was just going to pick it up and ride it around like Reno area. And then Amanda was like, well, I'm missing my family. How about we go home? And I was like, well, I've got this bike. What am I going to do? I guess I'll just follow you. Like, you can go and I'll come like another week later. And she was like, yeah, that sounds good. So I booked all my hotels and everything. And then the biggest downer of 2020, unfortunately, our dog got cancer. So she had to cancel her trip. But because I had already booked everything and told Ducati that I was doing it, we were like, well, the best thing to do is to just follow through on it and actually do it. So I was like, all right. So, by that point, Ducati had already said, oh, well, if you're going on that trip, we'll hook you up with the fairing and heated grips and, all the bags and all that stuff. So
all was needed, I'm sure.
Yes. Absolutely.
This is only possible with all of the things they just put on there.
100%.
So for the four-wheelers out there, it's like a naked cruiser thingy, right?
It's a sexy bike, man.
This is not like some giant Harley put the whole family on. This is
on the Goldwing. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So they call it a muscle cruiser, which it definitely is. I mean,
it totally is.
It's got 1.3 liters of power.
That'll move you.
Yeah, and it's fast. I mean, might have had it to 140.
In Mexico.
That's
in
terrifying.
Mexico. Yeah, it is.
I love you so much right now.
And that's 140 with a tent on the back too, by the way.
That's terrifying.
Did it go like poof while you were driving?
No.
It's now the parachute that flies off.
That's why it was only 140.
Exactly. But so I on the way there, I took a lot longer than the way back. So I stopped and I went to Craters of the Moon State Park in Idaho, which is beautiful.
It really does look like the moon, though.
Like,
it's unreal.
It's an old volcanic field that it's surreal. Like going over a hill, you round a corner, and it's just laid out in front of you. Like, what just happened? I'm not on Earth anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool. The next day, I spent all day going through Yellowstone, which was also incredible. The next day, I went through Teddy Roosevelt National Park, which is also incredible. And then I did like a full day haul to get to Minnesota, and that's right. That was the coldest day that I think I had experienced to that point, which was I never saw a degree over 35. Then the next day,
that's like Tuesday in January in New Jersey.
Right.
It's like,
yeah, screw that.
So then the next day I went from Minnesota to the UP and down to across the bridge.
Yeah, I was gonna say the bridge or the ferry. What'd you take?
I took the bridge.
Okay.
And that day,
you never met Brad.
That day I didn't see a degree over 30. So it was like 29, 28 all day.
I'm sorry, you're camping still?
So I camped in Craters of the Moon. And that wasn't too bad because I woke up and it was like 40. It was chilly, but not terrible.
Sure.
Then the next day I camped, I think in North Dakota, and that was when I woke up and it was in the 20s.
Yeah.
So the Minnesota night I stayed in a hotel.
Especially since it was so cold while you're riding too.
Yeah.
That
you just want to warm up.
You need to
I just wanted to shower.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Put your hand on the cylinder head as you ride to warm it up.
Which hand?
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yep.
I've done that.
I had a BMW in Colorado. I have totally done that.
Yep.
So going across the Lake Superior coastline and everything, and then cutting through. And of course, that was the day that I saw snow. So that was fun. I stayed for like a week and a half in Michigan, visiting family. My grandmother's not doing so well, and my grandfather has bone cancer. So I went and visited them. And that was kind of the impetus for the trip, was to see my family, which I at that time had no idea when I'd be able to see them again, as far as, being quarantined and everything. So, I did my trip and stayed home and for about a week and a half. And then on the way home, our dog was getting a little worse. So I rushed the way home. I just went 80 the whole way. And I attempted to do an iron butt, 1,000 Mile Bay. I got close. I made it to 880 miles.
That's a lot.
If you don't ride a motorcycle and you're casting judgment right now, shut up.
Well,
880 in a car is a long day.
Yeah. So
fact.
Yeah.
So I would have persevered and I would have made it. I only had one more fuel tank to go. But when I was entering into Wyoming, the sun went down, and
it
I
got
had
a
been
lot colder.
Literally all the way across Nebraska. It had been side winds gusting up to 60 miles an hour.
Having I was driven across Nebraska countless times, that happens
a lot,
all the time.
Yeah.
So I was riding, canted over 15 degrees into the wind.
Oh my God! Come on.
For
Are
hours.
you having fun? This is not fun.
No, he's trying to get home.
I know.
His dog is not well.
But these are the best stories you get. Is when
exactly.
Yeah.
So hang on, I'll get to that in a second. Whether or not it was fun. So I get into Wyoming. And the temperature drops when the sun goes down, obviously. So then it starts raining. And the dash indicates that it's 26 degrees. So the rain is freezing on me and on the road. So I was like, no, I'm done. I quit. I give up. I'm done.
Oh, that's safe. No, we want to talk to you today and not you wanted to get home and not die.
Right.
Fact. Smart plan.
Yeah.
You've got 3 writers on this show, and we're all like, yeah, that was a smart plan.
That's a big nope.
So as soon as it started icing and I had trouble going downhill, I was like, I'm done. I gotta call it. I can't do this last 120 miles. I just can't. So I stopped, found a hotel, warmed up, and then the next day I made it to Wendover, which is the border of Utah and Nevada. And then the day after that, I made it home. So I think I did it in 4 days on the way home, and I did it in 9 days on the way there.
So did you have fun? I think was the question that we were waiting on.
Yes. This is my Midwest sensibilities. I was the kid in Michigan who would wear shorts in December. So
every other kid in Michigan.
Exactly. Well, not all of them. We're the ones that people make fun of.
Pennsylvania has their fair share too. Absolutely.
But there's this Midwest sensibility of doing hard things not because you enjoy it, but because it's hard. And it's been my brain is melted, as a Midwesterner. Even one that got out. I tried to salvage what I could, pick up the pieces and get out, but I was broken from the beginning.
Here's the thing is it's actually infectious because Chris over here, he lived in Montana for a while, and that whole thing, twice it infected him. And Chrissy is harder than everyone who's never met Chrissy thinks she is. And
this is where the mental math shows up.
I was like, where are we
I don't know. We're all concerned about what he's going to say.
My point being is the four regular hosts of this show, we've all been exposed to this. And I didn't realize how hard people in the Midwest were until I moved to the Midwest. And then everything that seems extreme when you're on the East or the West Coast
that's just
very
normal.
much it's very much normal. My personal record for on a motorcycle was -17, but it had been in dry
for
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And my thought was, oh, well, then there's no ice. I can bundle up against the cold. And I had a BMW with heated hand grips. So I totally riding to work.
-17 with heated hand grips means your heated hand grips got overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It means your gloves just get frozen.
Also, the fronts of your hands don't have heated hand grips.
I had ski gloves.
Yeah.
So they had the insulated fronts and then there's the regular normal. And there's a giant contingent of our audience that is from the Midwest. And they're like, oh, yeah, that makes total sense. As long as there's no ice on the road, I don't care what the temperature is.
I'm not riding when it's below 40. I don't care what it is. I'm like, you know what?
40 is nothing for me. I'll do 40 all day long. Below 30 is when it starts to get me.
But you talk
about...
I'll
still do it.
But in a torrential blizzard, Chris, you and I will both drop the top on the Miata and drive circles on every highway.
You totally will. All three of
you.
The
heat's on, though.
That's right.
All three of you will friggin' throw the targa.
And I have a jacket on that the wind is not like going right through me.
Well, what you need to do on a motorcycle is get heated gear. You get the heated shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a ruggedness to Midwestern personnel that the rest of the world will not know.
It's not
you're
focus.
smiling.
You look like you're in armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Well, it's hard to see, but I have
because he's a responsible rider. Yeah.
I have ice on the front of my jacket. You can't see it in the show, but
and Chrissy,
we can see it there.
I can see that.
Chrissy hit it. Chrissy absolutely hit it. She's like, "Oh, you're smiling."
Yeah.
How was the bike?
Honestly, it was a rip. It was a really good bike. It rides a lot better without the gear on it. Because I had probably 80 pounds of gear on the bike.
Do you have panniers on the front?
I had one each on the sides, and then I had a top bag. Okay. It was all soft bags because the Diavol doesn't have hard bags. Oh, and I had a tank bag. Their tank bag is huge. It was like, I don't know, 3 liters or something like that. It had to be more than that. 10 liters.
That's in front of you though.
Yeah.
The tank bag.
So why'd you have ice on you?
That was a different time. Okay. That was a different ride. That was on a Royal Enfield, which didn't even have heated grips. But
which I still want.
Royal Enfields are dope.
Oh, I need a Royal Enfield.
I've ridden in the snow more than I probably should, but Actually, the only time I've ever dumped a bike.
Brad lives in the cold part of Nevada. I live in the warm part of Nevada.
Well, yes. So the weird thing is that time on the Royal Enfield was in California, and the time on the Diavol was in Wyoming. So yeah, but I have ridden in the snow in Nevada as well. But anyway, I digress.
Which will be of no shock to our.
That's right.
Our listeners.
It's fine.
The bike itself was a lot of fun. It's very fast. It sounds pretty good. It sounds kind of like an AMG, like a modern AMG GT or something like that.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it does. Freaking yeah, it does.
It's very comfortable, surprisingly comfortable for 6,000 miles. The seat wasn't great, but my butt was in it for a long time, so I can't complain too much. And ergonomics were good. The electronics were good. It had really good ABS, really good anti-wheelie, really good traction control.
You were doing
good
wheelies in
anti-wheelie.
Snow.
Terrible.
You can turn off the anti-wheelie.
Oh,
It'll do a wheelie.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's an electronic, like Bosch makes a controller for that. So it's kind of like traction control.
I mean,
so
you shouldn't.
Yeah. So it realizes that the front wheel and the rear
anyway.
wheel are doing it.
Shouldn't do a wheelie,
retards. It squeeze the brake or retard the spark or whatever it does. To
One of those.
Slow down the rear wheel.
Yeah.
This is cool. I like all the bike talk, but I know nothing about what you're talking about because I promised my wife a long time ago I'd stay on 4 wheels, not 2.
We made a deal when we got married that neither of us would forbid each other from doing anything. So
it's an interesting rule.
I didn't think I could love your wife more.
It's getting creepy now, Mental. Actually,
Well,
it's
no,
getting kind of creepy.
Like
creepy levels. Like
there were some forest fires a couple of months ago, and they were threatening Reno. And I sent Brad a text message because Brad and I have been friends for like 15 years now. And I said, "Hey, man," because he was out of town. I said, "If your wife needs a dog-friendly place, because they've got 2, is it still 2?
No, just 1 now.
All right, I'm
It's like,
sorry.
yeah, she can stay here. No,
He's got a really cool basset hound.
Yeah.
I said, if they need a place to evacuate to, let me know. So no, and it's zero creepy.
I was gonna say the creepy level meter is like not creepy.
And I know mental. I know that like he says creepy shit, but he's not a creepy guy.
Jeff,
so.
No, and
in the gimp suit.
And actually, if I was
in
a
the swinger outfit,
right? If I was a smart guy, which I'm not, I would never allow my wife and his wife to be in the same room because both Brad and I would be in a lot of trouble.
Probably.
We'd both be like, "Wait, he does that? Oh my God, that irritates the crap out of me." But yeah,
that's probably true.
We would find 2 very patient ladies who would realize that they shouldn't be putting up with the crap they put up with. But yeah, so this one is Chris, you've got a point on this.
No, I don't. We're gonna keep moving.
I was gonna try and get us back to electrics. Can we go back to electrics?
No. We're towards the end of this because we've been pushing this for a while now. I'm going to name drop. And you and I talked at Gingerman for the brief time we got to hang out together.
Yes.
About the Ducati.
Yep. I went to
given us an entire awesome perspective of go to Jalopnik, look for Bradley's articles. It's a great series.
Yeah.
On that.
I did 2 big ones on that. One was about the bike, and then one was about what I learned riding across the country, and I think that was probably one of the ones I'm proud of this year. It was fun.
And I read them both. You should be proud of them both.
Oh, thank you.
But Jeff, what do you got on there?
No, I wanted to get back to electrics because I know you're pushing electrics, and the last couple of people we've had on here have had some really interesting thing to say about electrics. We had Jay Lamb talking about his rally thing and the million nickels.
When I actually started this electric show, Jay was one of the first people I called.
Yeah, cool.
And he gave me a lot of really good advice. So
nice.
Yeah, good dude.
So we just want your perspective on what you think the next hotness is. What are you excited about for that's coming up in electrics? Is it the swaps? Is it the VW skateboard thing? Is it like the Tesla Riven Hummer battle? Is it the million nickels? What do you really like? Oh, I can't wait for that.
That's a good question. As far as the best thing that I think is going to happen is probably the Lucid Air is really, really, really cool. It's way too expensive, and for that reason, I'm not super excited about it. But it's they're doing some really interesting things with efficiency and packaging that nobody else is doing.
Okay, I've seen a video on YouTube about it, but I don't know a ton about it. I didn't know how much of it was real, how much of it was vapor.
I went to their factory and I talked to the chief engineer who used to work at Tesla, and he is a very smart German dude, and he's just the way that they're focusing on like every little detail matters is really interesting to me, and I hope that it comes through the way that it should. I mean, they've got Saudi money, so they're not going to run out of money anytime soon. So I believe they're going to make it to market based on how much money they have backing them. As far as the product, I think it's probably going to be one of the best electric cars, but it's going to be out of reach for
a gazillion dollars.
Yeah.
Only Saudi money will be able to afford to buy one.
Exactly. But the design is amazing. Some of the tech is amazing. I really look forward to getting behind the wheel of one.
I think it was a Donut Media podcast that I saw about the company and about its innovations, and it was very intriguing. But like I said, I didn't know.
I think they're the real deal.
More or less likely to make it to market than the Fisker Ocean, for example.
Oh, way more.
Okay.
Way more likely.
All right.
It's funny. Mental keeps pointing, but what he's recording,
his orientation is different.
Totally makes sense
it's only on his screen.
Sense on my screen. Yeah, exactly.
He's got to close one eye to point at this point to see which one of us it is. So,
fact, I could be pointing at your dog.
And
the reality is your dog is making a good decision, right?
Yeah.
Whoever your listener is. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's cool.
So, but as far as the Rivian Hummer Tesla thing, trucks never do anything.
No
for me.
care. Yeah.
No, and because they need so many batteries to actually move, like there's such a huge resource drain that it's going to take 3 times as many batteries to power that as it would, my Leaf hatchback. Well, actually, in the case of the Hummer, it would take 8 times as many batteries.
And I'm stunned that no one has figured out that the cross between those two is the RV.
What?
Because you can make an RV.
No. I would
heavy?
love to have an electric RV that was capable of the stuff that they're advertising the Hummer EV to be.
So your RV can go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and
no, that my RV can drive 400 miles and not
on a charge. Yeah.
And RV parks have electric. So if you're going from RV park to RV park, see, this is funny because I think the VW ID4 platform, whatever they're calling it, it's the skate.
I think it has a lot of potential.
It's got a ton of potential to sell 1 million cars because the electric skateboard is going to be top hatted by all the different models. Yeah. So you're not going to know.
Even Ford is going to build something on that platform.
Yeah.
So it's, and then you've got GM is building electrics for Honda and Acura in the US, so that'll be interesting. That's, I think, news came out today or yesterday.
And you know how much we love Honda on this show.
Yeah. If Honda actually makes the sports EV concept, I will buy 10 of them tomorrow. I promise. I will go into debt for the rest of my life, and I would love every minute of it. I want that.
I will buy one of my Honda EVs from you when you.
Okay.
There you go. That's right. I saw a first gen Insight the other day, and I was like,
"Oh, great car!
Yeah,
great car."
Totally,
if you have a first gen Insight, please bring it to Autopia 2099. I'm saying that right now.
Absolutely.
It's one of the. We're gonna have to make some cutoffs so that it's not like 50 Priuses or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you have an interesting hybrid like that I want that.
It was delivering pizzas. It was outside a pizza shop delivering pizzas. I was like, that guy knows where it's at.
Yeah, 60 miles to the gallon. That dude gets it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That dude gets it. So anyway.
Yeah. Chrissy, do you want to wrap us up here? We've been here for 2+ hours, I think, at this point.
Yes. Okay. How can we make sure that people get to know where your stuff is? Google, I think, is probably the easiest place to start because that's what I did halfway through all the things you were saying. But
I'm going to give Mental like 35 links and they'll be in the show notes. So
all 35.
Yep.
No.
Perfect.
Jalopnik, EV Pulse, Flat Sixes, Radwood, Autopia 2099.
10 and 2.
10 and 2.
Already found that.
And let's assume you don't buy a single word that has been said on this podcast, but if you're not following Radwood Official, you failed.
Yep. That is a fact.
Yep. Totally.
I'm in trouble because Mental said he's not going to buy anything for Rad for sale. I'm totally going to buy something.
Oh, I subscribed.
What Mental
I'm
said
ready.
was he can't afford anything for Rad for sale. I
can't afford
like
anything on
90%.
Bring a Trailer, but I like tell Chris every day I want something.
Yep.
What
All
Chris
right.
All right,
Jeff-
let's move
Jeff,
this
with the
on.
First time a 944 S2 comes up on Brad for sale, you're gonna have to hold yourself back.
No,
I
I
know.
told you I might be done with 944s.
Okay.
I've watched another podcast. Watch JR Go. I watched him suffer through his $500 944, and I said,
Well, don't
Nope.
buy a $500 one.
Yeah.
You gotta buy one that's maintained. Duh.
Oh, you're so smart.
I've got to tell you what. I've got a really nice Euro.
No. Mm-mm.
It's a Euro 5-speed. 83 manual steering, no sunroof, Pasha interior. You'll love it.
yes,
No.
that's what I want.
No. He doesn't need any more cars
Until he fixes his international truck, or get his damn Z runs, or just needs to get other people to work on the cars for him. That always works out really well.
Just
Anyway.
for those that are playing bingo, I broke. That was awesome because
You had me at Pasha interior.
Exactly.
shoot, Pasha's
Once you
cool.
said Posh interior, we all know that your wife would steal that car to drive to Penn State.
I don't know about
No,
that.
I don't think
No,
so.
she wouldn't.
No,
I
she
don't
wouldn't.
think so.
She wouldn't at all.
She'd be like, "What is that piece of shit? And
Why
why,
did you
did
buy
you get
that
You'd
it?"
say like we're gonna go take that to go out to you don't go out to dinner
Yeah,
anymore,
no.
but you'd say like
Yeah.
let's take that out. She'd be
No.
like, no, I'll meet you there. Mm-mm.
All right, let's move this on.
Move this on.
Let's
It's
do
time.
it.
On the spot. We are not going to annoy Chrissy this week to give us a safety tip. I believe Chris has a question that he is going to ask the poll, and none of us have heard this question, and we are all going to be forced to answer it with little to no prep or thought.
All right, your favorite rad era accessory. And I'm going to leave it at that because it could be an accessory. Like, who knows what it's for, but your favorite rad era accessory.
The favorite thing that I saw at a rad show that I grew up with and immediately brought me back and made me like whimper, like, where did you get that? And that is so exciting, was on the dashboard of, I think, an Audi. I don't remember. And it was the original Escort radar detector. It was like
The
the
big one with the orange light.
the big
Yeah.
giant one
Yeah.
with the orange light.
Yeah.
And
dial.
my father
Dial.
owned that
Yes.
on his like 79 Ford Fiesta, which was the German built one. And he ran the bloody wheels off that thing. Might have been an 80, bloody wheels off that thing in the SCCA rally scene. And man, that amber light was like God to me because he knew where the cops were, and it was amazing.
Damn.
I can
Next.
go.
Great.
Scrunchies.
Okay. Great.
That's a good one.
Yep.
And that was a completely appropriate mic drop.
And Chrissy, where do you put your scrunchies in your rad car? On the shifter,
No, I
right?
put them on my wrist. Duh.
No,
Yeah.
they live on. Don't you always have one on the
No.
shifter?
Chrissy's right. I see
I
where you're
mean-
going, Jeff. I see where you're
Yeah,
going.
so I do have hair ties in every car on some kind of shifter or
Yes.
something like that. Yes, but scrunchies belong on your wrist. So
Fact.
I'm saying every girl I dated in the 80s had them on the shifter.
Which
Had one on the
explains-
wrist too, but
so this is the problem if we want to get to technical. The girls you were dating had scrunchies that they could have in their cars, and I was 5.
oh,
So I didn't have scrunchies on shifters and cars because that would have been my mother's car or something like that. So there you go. Another
point
one.
taken.
Okay.
Point taken.
But
I won't tell you how old I was in the 80s.
I feel attacked, but
Yep.
When
that
it's the
doesn't
truth,
mean
you just
Chris is
got to
wrong.
deal
And
with it.
Mental, give us your answer.
She's
Come on.
She's 100% wrong.
Give us your answer.
Mine, the robotic arm laser or CD leveler that you could plug into the auxiliary plug
Oh,
of your
that
car
would
stereo.
hold like the Discman stable.
Exactly, the
Ah.
Discman thing. And I remember
that's a thing.
You like a Discman on a gimbal. Yeah.
You know, I
That's
remember
amazing.
I remember my sophomore year of high school, South Cobb High School, riding home with two friends of mine, and they played U2 on his Discman, which was on the robotic arm, and it was
That's awesome.
the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And
No
I
skipping
still
there?
love no, because it was on a robotic arm, so
No, I'm agreeing. It's great.
it had like a 3-second kind of lead in. So
I'm trying to
detected a
find one.
skip. Right. It was Where the Streets Have No Name, which is still one of my favorite songs, which is a great song.
Good song.
But I remember living it. I remember in my track team buddy Jason's Firebird, 79 Firebird, as he gave me a sympathy ride home because I was the fast freshman, fast sophomore at the time, home. And so that was my thing, is the robotic stabilizer Discman arm for
Contraption.
car stereo.
It's a good one. All right, Brad, what do you think?
My favorite accessory from a show has to be at the most recent Radwood LA, which would have been December 2019.
When Shameless Pimping, the smoking tires, Matt Ferreira showed up with his Countach.
No, that was 18. That was 18.
I apologize.
That was 18. In 19, he showed up in a friend of ours, street legal Porsche 962.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Matt Ferreira's cool.
Yeah, he sure is. No, so at that show, somebody brought it was a Mitsubishi something.
Ooh,
Tredia, maybe?
Okay.
Nice.
There was a Tredia. Yeah, it was a little tiny hatchback.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't that, but he brought a Mitsubishi, and he kitted it out with period correct Mitsubishi electronics. So he had a Mitsubishi tape player belt.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever. I'm googling that.
It had speakers and it had a tape player, and you wore it around your waist, and it was amazing.
He made it?
No.
They sold it.
They
sold it. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know where he found it, but it was amazing.
And it worked. And
It
that's
worked.
what's awesome.
Yeah, it worked.
Oh, that's a good one. Accessory.
Yeah, that's a pretty good accessory.
Mm.
I don't think that could be beat. He actually won Brad's accessory at that show, so
Yeah, well, it makes sense.
as he should have.
All right, I was gonna go with the K40 radar detector, but Jeff said the Escort, so I'm gonna go with something else instead. I'm gonna go with the twin tire. Remember the ads in the back back in the day for the twin tire? I
forgot about the twin tire.
It was
God
one
bless.
wheel with like 2 mini spares on it,
Yep.
and like,
Yes.
oh, this is the greatest thing in the world. But they were like $4,000, and you never actually saw one. So I think it'd be great if someone showed up with a twin tire.
I saw one at SEMA 2 years ago. There was a
period
RX3.
one, or like somebody else was trying to make a new one.
man, I don't know. Maybe they made their own.
Yeah.
But
Is
it was
like
on
two bicycle wheels?
It's a
thin like-
wheel it's just the wheel designed to fit 2 tires.
2 tires. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that good?
I saw it was
It
a
wasn't.
Mazda
That's the problem.
RX-3.
Yeah.
Mazda RX-3 with 4 rear tires. It was amazing.
Nice.
That's
It's
kinda cool.
dually.
They kind of look
Pretty
more
much.
like look more like motorcycle tires.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they have tread,
than
right? They're
bicycle
bigger.
tires.
Yeah, no, I buy it. I Googled it because
Okay. Well, that's good. Thanks, everybody. Those are fun.
All right. Did everybody answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
All right. So that's usually the end of the show. Do we have a clue what's coming up next show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can Mental close one eye and read it, or do I have to do it for him?
No, I've got it. So
I got
hold
this.
on to your-
I'm gonna get a.
Hold on
do I
to your
get a
party
kidney
favors.
later? No. Okay.
Chris, if you need a kidney, I got one for you, brother.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right. Hold on to your party favors. We're looking at 4 weeks of actually knowing what we're doing next week.
That's insane.
Don't get
Don't
get
jinx
comfy.
us. Don't
Yeah,
jinx us.
exactly. But host number 5, the Eric Rude, is going to come by and talk about 2021 race plans, rally plans, and moving, because he managed to convince a perfectly sane, successful
Yeah.
from Tulsa, Oklahoma to
I've
move
met
to
her,
Chicago.
and she's real.
She's not
Yeah,
Canadian.
I have no doubt because Eric doesn't lie about anything. But
Actually, hang on 1 second. I think the last time I was on this show, Eric Rude was on the following week.
yeah,
That's just an
could be.
amazing coincidence because that's 172 shows ago.
No, because you were
I
here
know.
over the summer, like June something.
It wasn't too
July.
long ago.
No.
I looked it up.
That does track.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were hurting for guests at that time because we're like, well, shit.
It was the middle of COVID.
We're out
we were
of topics. All right, we can always get Eric. All right, Eric, come on.
Well, we also have to say that everybody comes at the beginning of the year to pimp their new stuff too.
That's true.
That's true.
So
We'll have you anytime, though.
Eric is one of the people that I respect the most in this industry.
Oh.
He's just such an amazing guy.
what a nice guy he is too.
Yeah.
He really is. Anyone that has ever met Eric, and it's kind of one of those things where, like, oh, Eric Rude, screw that guy. You know what? You and I are never going to.
No one's ever said that.
No, I don't think anyone's ever said that. Yeah.
No.
Well,
I don't think
the
anyone's
people
ever
that
said
might have said that, I'm not friends with.
That's true.
So,
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
anyway, the Eric Rude is going to come by. He's going to buy 2021 race plans, rally plans, moving. And it's always fun when we have Eric. You know this. And we're going to talk about whatever the hell else Eric wants to talk about, because really,
That's always interesting too.
He's like the fifth host. You've heard of the fifth Beatle. He's the fifth.
And that's not to diminish what Brad has brought us. So Brad, thank you for being on
Thank
the
you
show.
for being here.
No, but Rude comes like 6 times a year. Brad graces us only when he's like, he's already done Ethan's podcast. He's already done Garage Heroes.
I haven't done Garage Heroes yet.
And we did get a text from Garage Heroes where they said they would deliberately delay their episode with him after hours.
I'm sure.
So nice, Bill.
They typically do stuff after us anyway, so that's.
Here's
Hey, I've never been on their show before, so this is my fourth time on this show.
That's true.
A, you're gonna love it because they're wonderful people. B, budget about 3 hours.
Oh yeah, they talk a lot.
All right, so more than this. All right,
Yeah.
I got it.
This is like our longest show of the year.
Vicky are great.
Not that I
this
haven't
is
been
what happens
playing
when-
the outro music for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Might end before you get done.
No, I've already reversed it a couple times.
Okay. Do
No,
it.
right, seriously, though, we love having you. You can come back as often as you want. We don't harass
Seriously,
you.
Brad,
Call us
thank you,
anytime. We'll let you in. And I'll say to everybody out there in podcast land, thank you for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's future edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you like this podcast, subscribe. It is totally free. Then press the button. If you're here on YouTube, press the button that's right here. It's actually over Brad. Brad, point up a little. There you go. Thank you. Push that button to subscribe here, or write in the doodly-doo right down there some comments. We love that. Also, you can go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. That would be great. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com, or text us. Yes, you can text us. 484-243 0455. Brett, if you have more time that you want to not have in your personal life, get a Google phone number and just tell people on the air to text you.
My radio show has a Google phone number, and I request people call in and leave their questions at my voicemail box. So
And then you
play them on the show.
We could do that too. Okay, so that's it. Now on, leave us a voicemail. Probably not. I can't pull that off. That's too high tech. Find us on Instagram or Twitter.
I can totally pull it off. And if you've got a question for Brad, I'll forward it to him.
Oh, that's a threat right there. So find us on Instagram or Twitter at everyone.racers. Sooner or later, I'm going to start the Everyone Racers TikTok. So find us there. Thanks again. And until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless there is no shiny side, then just keep those motorcycle wheels down.